Hey y'all, welcome back to Opacon Homestead. I gotta tell you guys something. I might have totaled the truck, the Nissan Frontier truck. So last Tuesday it would have been, I was heading down to go pick up our pick of the litter male pup, Rip. And on the way down, I was enjoying my ride. It was really peaceful. The boys had fell asleep. It was about a 2-hour drive south. And I had turned the radio on. It was just really quiet. I was just enjoying the ride, and all of a sudden I started to see what looked like smoke, and I kept looking around for a fire, trying to figure out where this fire was at, and well, it wasn't fire. And it started getting more dense, and I kept thinking, is this fog? Because it was an odd time of the day. It was about 10:30 in the morning, and so it got pretty foggy. I'm driving along, and I glanced off to my right, and I seen something standing in the road that at first, when I was really far back, I thought it was a blown out tire. And then as we were getting closer, I couldn't figure out what it was. Kind of looked like a mangy coyote, and it was facing in a strange direction. It was like looking down off into the ditch, almost into like a pointing dog's pose, into a point. And I was just staring at it, trying to figure out what in the world it was doing. I was watching the road with my peripherals. Obviously not the best idea, but I think we've all done that. And as I come up closer to it, I realized that it was a pit bull. Scrawny little pit bull, gray with white on his face. And I looked over down in the ditch, and there was another dog down there. Another pit bull mix. I think that one was either black or brindle, and it was eating on a deer, a dead deer. It was chewing on its hide as I was passing. I was watching that dog eat that deer, and I looked back up, and there was traffic just stopped dead in front of me. There was a truck, an older Ford, probably like a 90s model Ford, right in front of me. It had like a red and white paint job. It was like the red was like almost a primer red. So being an older truck in the fog, I didn't see it out of my peripherals, and honest to God, I don't know if their brake lights were working. It was such a quick thing that happened. I don't know. I can't remember if their brake lights were working. I just don't know. It was just such a blur. It happened so fast. It doesn't seem like I remember them being on, but maybe not. Either way, yes, I should have been more focused on the road, but sometimes you just get into like a daze when you're driving, you know, and it was a quiet ride. I was enjoying the peace of the boys being asleep, and I just had the radio on, and yeah, I seen those dogs, and of course I stared at them a little longer than I should, but I was watching out of my peripherals, and I just didn't see the traffic stop. There was a couple cars stopped behind a semi, and so at the time that I had glanced up and noticed that the truck was right in front of me, I'm left-eye dominant, so I think that's why I just naturally looked off to the left. There was oncoming traffic, but there was also a road to my left that I thought I could make, and I did not make it, which I'll get to in just a second. The right side, I really, woulda, coulda, shoulda. The right side, where the dogs were, the ditch was pretty steep, but just past that, if I had whipped around to the right and made it and went down the shoulder, I could have went off that way, and I probably just would have thrown the truck out of alignment. But unfortunately, you got a split second to think about what your plan is, and being left-eye dominant, I seen the road over there, and my thought, I did not want to hit the vehicle in front of me. I've been hit from the behind. It's not fun. It hurts. I didn't want to involve anybody else, so I thought I could hit that road. Turns out I'm not a NASCAR driver, and I turned real sharp, and I didn't turn sharp enough. I was going too fast. The road was 65. I was probably doing about 70 to 75, probably 72. I usually do about 7 over. And yeah, I was just going too fast. Yeah, and I turned real sharp, flew off, and slammed right into the ditch. It was pretty painful. It was a weird feeling. It was kind of like those race car games, And I don't know if I actually got any air. It felt like I did. I don't think I got any air, but at the time it felt like I was flying through the air. And for just that slow motion period, just for a second, I thought, oh man, this is gonna hurt. And right at that moment, of course, I slammed. I had my seatbelt on, praise God, because that stopped me. It hit really hard. My chest was still, it happened on the 21st, so it's been about 10 days now, or 9 days. And it's still a little bruised. It's not too bad, but that seatbelt hit me pretty hard, and I went forward, and the seatbelt stopped me, and my head went back, and I hit my head on the seat. And at the time, I'm not really sure how it happened. I'm assuming that I rolled my ankle up under the accelerator as I was hitting the brake. I guess the impact, I must have rolled it. I don't know. As soon as I hit the bank, of course I checked. I had all 3 boys with me. I checked on the boys. Levi was not wearing his seatbelt. All 3 fell asleep. And just before he had fallen asleep, he took his seatbelt off to get more comfortable. And so, obviously, without me knowing. And so he was sitting in the back right passenger seat. The seat flipped forward, and he came sliding in. And thank God that the seat was pushed back enough that he slid. His hands went straight first, and he slid right in between the seat and the glove compartment. So he didn't hit anything, thank God. It was completely miraculous that he would have had a seatbelt on if he would have been awake. Of course, I would have been paying more attention, but he was hunched over, and I didn't know he slipped his seatbelt off. But it was a good thing that he was sleeping because of the way, his body was just limp, so he didn't get hurt. He did have a little bit of whiplash, and the next day his neck was a little bit sore, but he was safe. Huxton had his seatbelt on, but he was slinked over asleep as well. And then poor Rylan, though, had his seatbelt on too, and he was actually awake, but I'm not sure what position he was when we actually made impact. He had been laying down on his back with his feet up on the door, and because he had just woken up, and so somehow, I'm not really sure which way it jolted him, but across his neck, well, I've been this side because he was sitting behind me, across his neck right here, he got a seatbelt burn, like a rope burn. It looks like he got hit with a hot iron, but he had a pretty good little burn mark right there on his neck, and he also got some pretty good whiplash, and in between his shoulder blades was hurting the next day and later that evening. And so, but they were all fine. Everybody was good. They didn't go to the emergency room. I took them all into the chiropractor. I had actually just started going to the chiropractor myself because the week before I was painting my walls and I was moving my deer mount around, and I hung it back up and it didn't quite hang centered, and so I picked it back up and the thing fell and hit me on top of the head. I already have back issues. My lower back and neck have been messed up since I was probably 14 or so, and so that deer head fell down and it jolted something, and it always seems like when things are going really well that the devil likes to come in and strike at you. And so we just got our tractor. I got my living room painted. Something else, I don't know. well, we got the cows, and everything just was lining up and going well, and I knew something was probably going to happen, because every time things are going really well, the devil comes in and just does something. So I was pretty mad at the moment that it happened. I was angry because I still had things to do today. I had to go pick up the puppy. I was going to get me a nest box right after that. I had planned on coming home, getting all the animals rounded up and taken care of, and whatever else I needed to do. I'm always working on something, and it obviously didn't happen. So kids were fine. I was holding Huxton, and my ankle was killing me. I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but my ankle, I knew I did something. It was hurting bad. I pulled my shoe off. Sure enough, my ankle looked like an elephant. It was huge. It swelled up so bad. I had the emergency. The police came out. Highway patrol came out, and the EMT came out. They made sure everybody was all right. Everybody was cautious, and no major injuries other than my ankle. And so where I wrecked was actually nearby Dakota's uncle's house. So I talked to Dakota, sent him the pin of where it had happened, and he told me to call his uncle and have him take me to the emergency room. And so that's what we did. He came pick me up, thank goodness, and took me to the emergency room. They did an x-ray on my ankle, and they said no bones were broke, thank God. But it's been 9 days now. I can walk. I've been able to walk the whole time. It hurt extremely bad to walk on it right after the accident happened, but I'm pretty determined, and I really, 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 really didn't want anything to be wrong major with my ankle, because obviously I like to work, and that would have set things back pretty bad. And so I'm really, really thankful that nothing major happened. I think I tore some ligaments. Still pretty swollen. Dakota's got a cousin's mom, and she's actually a physical therapist, so I asked her for a couple tips, and she gave it to me. So right now I've got my ankle still wrapped up in an ACE bandage, and I'm gonna keep it that way. I've been icing it, trying to get the swelling to go down, and hopefully it just gets better. And we did have full coverage on the truck, thank God. I was waiting to make the video to see if the truck was going to be totaled or not. I've got a video that you'll see here in a moment of the damage of the truck. I got pictures from when it happened, which I'll show here in just a minute. And then I got pictures of my ankle. I think I have a picture of Ryland's neck where he got burnt from the seatbelt. But I always try to take the positive out of everything. There's no reason to be upset. I mean, obviously I'm upset, but there's no reason to sulk on it. I can't change it. Yes, I wish I would have done something different. I wish I would have my head would have been more clear, and I would have been fully focused on driving, I wish I would have drove to the right. I wish a lot of things. I wish my son would have had a seatbelt on, but I'm just really thankful to God for protecting us, and it could have been a whole lot worse. I'm so thankful we didn't roll. I'm thankful we didn't hit anybody else and cause anybody else any trouble, pain, any kind of trouble with their day. It wasn't very fun, but we're alive. We're all healthy. My ankle will heal. It's not broken. The truck's got full coverage. I'm waiting to hear to see probably tomorrow if it's going to be fixable or not. I really don't think so. There's a lot of, the right side's all crumbled in. You'll see here in the video. Don't think it's going to be repairable. We actually, let's see, on the Tuesday morning, we actually purchased a new vehicle. We had actually looked at this online. It was in an auction. We actually looked at the vehicle the day before my wreck, coincidentally. And we had kind of made plans to buy it if it went under a certain amount. And so it did, and you know, we just kind of asked God if it went under a certain amount, if He'd allow us to buy it, and it worked out. So I'll be showing you that in the next video. And we still might, depending on the Frontier, we still might get another vehicle. Maybe since we bought this truck online, we're actually going to pick it up in the morning. If we may get another vehicle anyway. Maybe just like a better gas car. We used to have a RAV4 and we really like that, so maybe we'll get something like that. But anyway, I'm rambling. I just want to let y'all know what happened. I know you're not going to see the Frontier in the video anymore, and then we'll be doing a video on the new truck tomorrow. And so I don't like to pretend life is perfect. That's not who I am. Things happen. Bad things happen, good things happen. Yeah, we got a tractor. That was great, but life's not always perfect. So I like to share all sides of our life. I don't want anyone to ever think that everything just goes great all the time, because that's not true. If you ever been in a wreck before, you kind of know how it goes. It's not a fun feeling. It was pretty weird seeing the truck again after the wreck, because I was just kind of out of it at the time it happened, just in shock. And so but there's always positive out of it, and so that's what I'm gonna take from, is all the positive, and we'll just throw the negative behind, because there's nothing we can do about it. And so anyway, I'm gonna leave this footage here for you to see the truck and the photos and my ankle. And if you wouldn't mind saying a prayer for my ankle, I'd appreciate it. I think it'll heal up fine eventually, but my biggest problem is staying off of it. I'm not one to sit still, and so I've been trying to the last few days. I've been trying to sit real still, but yeah, that's probably my biggest issue. But I hope you guys have had a great week, and we will catch you next time.